Hello everyone, Jai Hind and welcome to the platform of Study IQ IAS English, and in this video we'll be talking about the recent visit that had been planned for the Foreign Minister of Bangladesh to India. Alright, the Foreign Minister Khalilur Rahman, he will be visiting India for a 2-day visit that will start from 7th of April, and even he will be there on 8th of April in India as well. Now this is very important because the major focus of this visit will be the water diplomacy between both the nation, and ultimately this video, it covers the hydropolitics that is there in South Asia and even the Chinese angle that I'll be discussing moving further ahead in the video. Now this is very important, alright, just be with me till the end so that we can understand this complete topic in detail for your UPSC perspective. Now when it comes to the hydropolitics in India, like I said, that this is important because when it comes to the Ganga Water Treaty, the Ganga Water Treaty between India and Bangladesh, it is expiring in December 2026. Alright, and ultimately before that India seeks renegotiation on the new treaty and new terms. At the same time, when it comes to Teesta River, Teesta River is also a transnational river that goes into or that flows into Bangladesh, and there had been no formal agreement even after 40 plus years when it comes to the Teesta River water sharing. And at the same time, there had been a draft that was drafted in 2011, but it had been stalled because of the West Bengal government. At the same time, there had been regime change, and we have seen that in 2024, Sheikh Hasina had been ousted, and later on, Yunus led the government pivots towards China, and the China had been keen interested into investing into Bangladesh. And again, that is a main point that I'll be discussing why this matters for India, why this water diplomacy is so important for India. The China factor is that the Beijing is backing the Bangladesh, and ultimately there is Teesta River Comprehensive Management Project in which it wants to invest, and this is a strategic alarm for India. At the same time, the Bangladesh had acceded to 1992 UNECE Water Convention in June 2025. So over here, it can be seen that the Bangladesh is multilateralizing the issue or the water sharing between India and Bangladesh. Now, when it comes to UNECE, that is United Nations Economic Commission for Europe, so the Convention of the Water or the Water Convention on the Protocol and the Protocol on Water and Health, it is all about a legally binding international legal instrument that is aimed at protecting and ensuring that there is a sustainable use of the transboundary surface waters that are there and even the groundwaters. Alright, this was originally for the regional perspective, alright, only for the Europe, but now it has been open to all the UN members since 2016, and it aims to strengthen the international cooperation and prevent any kind of water-related conflicts between nations and facilitate that there should be or we should achieve the sustainable development goal, that is number 6. At the same time, this is important for your UPSC perspective as well. When it comes to this convention, Water Convention, this was adopted in Helsinki in 1992. Later on, it entered in force in 1996, and again, it was opened for all the UN members in 2016. The membership includes many African and Asian nations now, including the Sri Lanka, and at the same time, the highest governance or the decision-making body that is here is MOP or Meeting of the Parties. Alright. At the same time, when it comes to the key features and principles on which this particular convention is based, it is to prevent and reduce the impact, the reasonable use of the water, joint management and broad scope of water resources management, including ecosystem protection and monitoring. Now, when it comes to India, Bangladesh, alright, so there are, when it comes to the transboundary rivers, so there are certain states which are upper and middle riparians. They are the states from or the nation from which the river originates and moves through. So these are like for example, when it in the context of Bangladesh and India, India is basically upper and middle riparian because it controls the headwaters from where the river is originating. At the same time, they have the heavy or highly infrastructure capability as well. Then we have the ultimate downstream delta region, which receives over 70% of its surface water from the outside of its sovereign borders. Now, when it comes to both India and Bangladesh, So both India and Bangladesh, it is not just Brahmaputra and Teesta. There are total 54 transboundary rivers which moves or which goes towards Bangladesh. And Bangladesh external water reliance is more than 90%. Very few rivers originates in Bangladesh. It is from the India that most of the rivers they enters into it, and it relies for more than 90% to the transboundary movement of the water into its own nation. At the same time, when it comes to Teesta, it is about 414 kilometers long river that originates in Sikkim and flows through the West Bengal. Later on, it enters Bangladesh before joining the Brahmaputra. At the same time, we have Ganga and Farakka barrage as well. When it comes to Ganga, we have developed or we have built Farakka barrage over Ganga river system in 1975 so that we can divert water to Hooghly River. Now, Hooghly River is basically we want to desilt it, and to flush the silt, this Farakka barrage was built so that the port, the Kolkata port can be, the navigability can be maintained, and that was the major reason for building the Farakka barrage. Then we have the hydropower potential as well. When it comes to the Teesta Basin, it holds the potential of 84 gigawatt of hydroelectric potential with the Sikkim, which is targeting over 6,000 megawatt of generation through the hydropower generation on the Teesta River. Now, there are different stakeholders when it comes to the, between India and Bangladesh. So it is not just India and Bangladesh. We have also the West Bengal that is a stakeholder in the complete conflict when it covers the Teesta River dispute. When it comes to Bangladesh, it is a lower riparian state, and ultimately over here, it demands that a 50% share should be provided to Bangladesh of the Teesta water during the critical lean season. That is when the water, the rivers, they run dry and the water is very, very low. So ultimately during that critical lean season, Bangladesh is demanding 50% of the Teesta water between December to March. At the same time, over here, it is quite worthy to note that 73% of the population of Bangladesh, it relies over on the Teesta for the livelihoods, for the farming purposes, and it argues that India's Ghazal Doba barrage, it renders their Dalia irrigation project useless in the winters. At the same time, West Bengal is also a stakeholder when it comes to Teesta project or the Teesta Treaty because it opposes Teesta deal, and it cites that there are acute drinking water problem that is there in the state and also irrigation scarcity in the north of Bengal. At the same time, it argues that Farakka barrage that is there, it causes the upstream flooding and siltation in the Malda and Murshidabad districts which are there, and proposes that there should be a sharing of alternative rivers. Except from the Teesta, it has proposed that Torsa, Jaldhaka or Redak rivers, they should be shared instead of the Teesta river. At the same time, when it comes to Indian government or the union government, it is trying to balance the neighborhood first diplomacy with the domestic coalition politics in the region. At the same time, it needs Bangladesh cooperation for countering insurgency and for the northeast transit route as well. So it is very important that over here the Indian government is transitioning on a very muddy platform. Now, when it comes to the union government, over here, there are two different levels on which the union government is being pushed. The first level is the international diplomacy with Dhaka, and the second level is with the domestic party that is in the Kolkata and even in Bihar. Now, when it comes to the constitutional paradox, the foreign policy is a union subject. All right, it is under entry 10 and 14, but water is a state subject. And ultimately, the treaties, they require implicit state consensus for the peaceful execution. But at the same time, for entering into any international agreement, the union government, it can force upon any state subject as well. And that has been given under the Constitution of India. Now, over here, there are coalition compulsion where the 2011 Teesta deal had collapsed because the union government relied heavily on the regional ruling that is there in the West Bengal right now. Let's see, West Bengal, there would be a fresh elections that would be conducted. So if there is a regime change, maybe that the Teesta agreement could be reached upon between India and Bangladesh. Then there is a decentralization of the foreign policy as well, where the regional leaders like chief ministers, they have wielded or they wield now veto power over the neighborhood diplomacy, and they are fundamentally altering India's bilateral maneuvering as well. Now, there is a Bihar factor, I told you. Bihar factor is basically upstream state, and now they are demanding the decommissioning of the Farakka barrage because they are blaming that during the monsoon, it causes a flood, and also heavy siltation is caused because of the Farakka barrage. Now, this is the complete hydro diplomacy that was there, and that how it evolved. All right, during the period, right, from 1983 to 1996, during this period, there was ad hoc Teesta sharing that started between India and Bangladesh. And over here, 39% of India, of the water that was given to India, and the 36% was transferred to Bangladesh. In 1996, landmark 30-year deal or the treaty was entered into force, that is Ganga River Water Treaty, and it was signed utilizing the Gujarat doctrine of non-reciprocity. At the same time, in 2011, a draft was made for the Teesta River water sharing, and over here, 42.5% of the water would have been with the India, and then 37.5% would have gone towards Bangladesh. But at the same time, this treaty had been stalled right from 2011. Now there are rising climate stress that is there. China is offering $1 billion for the Teesta project, and also 86 JRC talks have commenced for the Ganga renewal or the Ganga treaty renewal that is there. So again, we have to see this in a broader perspective. Now, ultimately, the expiration of the Ganga treaty, there is a risk of several bilateral diplomatic crises if renegotiation fails or it is shortened without guaranteeing minimum lean season flows to Bangladesh. All right, over here, this is what the Ganga treaty is right now. All right, right now what happens is that if the flow is less than 70,000 cubic, so in that condition, both India and Bangladesh, they get 50% share. At the same time, if the flow is between 70,000 to 75,000, so over here Bangladesh is given guaranteed 35,000 cubics, and the India, it receives the balance. At the same time, it is it is above. The flow is above 75,000 cubic. So in that condition, Bangladesh receives the balance, but India retains 40,000 cubic. And there is a 10-day cycle as well, that is between March 10 and May 10. Both the nations, they receive guaranteed. In 10-day cycle, they get guaranteed 35,000 cubics in alternate 10 days of the periods that are there. So that is in the Ganga River Water Treaty that is here. Now, there is, and this is very important, you must understand that there are bills and chars when it comes to the Ganga Delta region. All right, this question was asked in the prelims as well. There are chars and bills. So chars are basically, they are like islands. All right, they are islands, or you can say they are uplifted part which are above water. All right, and then there are bills as well. The bills are here. They are basically marshy region, which are marshy area in the Ganga Delta region, and they are muddy region. So ultimately, when it comes to the chars, over here, basically in Malda and Murshidabad, there are a crisis. What happens over here is that during this period of time when we have floods, or we have the chars which are developed, we have flooding in the region. So there is, during the last 16 years, there had been continuous, relocation from this particular point of in Malda and Murshidabad. Like for example, for the, when it comes to the socio-economic impact over here, what happens is that there is a high dropout rates among the children in the Jangipur as well as in Kaliachak. That is because of the frequent school displacement. At the same time, there is prevalence of the waterborne diseases in these regions, in Malda and Murshidabad, and lack of access to the sanitation in the Char regions. At the same time, there is loss of documentary proof of citizenship during the erosion that have led to irony of dual citizenship as well as the legal vulnerability that these people faces over here, and they have transitioned. There is a complete transition of the livelihood from land-based agriculture to the migrant labor in the distant states. Like for example, these people are now migrating to Gujarat and Maharashtra in search of the livelihood. At the same time, when it comes to the China is also financing, or it wants to finance the Teesta mega project. Over here, this project is very, very dangerous for India, and India is keeping a keen eye on this project. Why? Because it is very closely located to the Chicken's Neck area. Now, the Chicken's Neck area, or the very thin region, very narrow region, not thin, very narrow region that lies and that connects the northeast states to the rest of the India, the Siliguri corridor. That is very important because this, when it comes to the Teesta mega project of China, what it intends to do is it intends to narrow the width of Teesta. And ultimately, this complete project is located very close to Chicken Necks. And if the China's presence will be there in that region, so they will have the complete the complete surveillance of the Indian troop movements in the northeast region. At the same time, when it comes to the technical nature, there will be radical dredging and narrowing. So ultimately, because of the narrowing of this region or the river, that will alter the riverbed system, the river velocity, and potentially it will cause the flood congestion in the upstream regions of West Bengal. At the same time, the Chinese financing will provide Dhaka with an alternative to the stalled Indian water negotiation, and that will create a rift between the relationship of India and Bangladesh. So that is all in today's video and this session. But at the same time, if you are preparing for the civil services, for the UPSC examination, so we have this GS Foundation resolution batch in which you can enroll. Now, this batch is available in English, in bilingual, and as well as in Hindi language. What you need to do is, for gaining the maximum discount, you can use the code BRSLive. So that would be all. But thank you very much, guys, for joining me over here and listening to me this far. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Take care. Jai Hind. And do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Thank you. Bye-bye. Take care. Jai Hind.